Andrew loves writing music. You can tell he just loves what he does. I had such a good experience with him on Journey 2 that I obviously invited him and said, do this again. And this was a very different challenge. There was no roadmap. This was, how do we build a very original, very epic, very emotional score.
Brad is a very unique director in that he thinks about music from the inception of the project. You know, even from the script stage, he wants to talk about themes and how he can help tell the story with music. Brad always focused on the character side of it. So while it is a movie with a huge disaster, it is ultimately a movie about a man trying to rescue his family. It was fantastic for music because it allowed me to do things on a very grand level, but it also allowed us to have these themes that were very internalized and very personal. Our vision for the music on San Andreas was to not approach it as themes for specific characters, with the exception of Dwayne Johnson's character. You know, we call it the hero theme, and what I love about it is that it's based on him, but it's shared. Through the course of the film, you realize his wife has a little bit of this heroism, and his daughter, and even Paul Giamatti's character.
One of my favorites is the 10-year-old boy.
Yes.
There's a 10-year-old boy that steps up, and he just like makes the hard call. I was like, that's the hero theme. Everybody who's in a tough spot is being rewarded in a way by the composer saying, like, wow, this guy's stepping up. We have music that plays over Dwayne and some kind of very traumatic experiences.
We call it the purity theme because all of this is happening as Dwayne and his family are mourning the loss of one of their family members. We wanted to use the music to almost be the ghost of this utopian family that they once had. And so we have this very beautiful theme, very still. It almost transcends all of the disaster and all of these moments that are going on. One moment specifically where the daughter is dying and Ray is trying to save her, and she's basically accepted her fate. So the music is also accepting her fate and almost treating it in a very beautiful way.
The thing that I love most about working with Andrew is there is no hesitation to try things.
The very first conversation Brad and I had, we happened upon this video on YouTube that was a programmer in Berlin who had taken data from earthquake waves and converted it into music. We were both very inspired by that idea.
Andrew went to an area in the San Andreas Fault line and recorded a lot of different sounds from the fault line. That is the bass line of our score, and that's something that is really cool in the film. A lot of people won't recognize it because it's very bassy and he sped it up, but that is the actual fault line.
The other thing we talked about, Brad said, you know, how can you capture destruction in music? So a very funny thing happened. I got an old piano, and my assistant Neil and I spent 2 days in the studio destroying it. We suddenly had this instrument that was broken, but barely hanging on by a thread. So I would sit and play notes, and it no longer really sounded like a piano, but it was suddenly this whole new instrument. And those raw sounds are heard in with the orchestral elements in the film. We were always talking about what is the sound of the earth. In the process of destroying the piano, one of my programmers took that sound and put it through some of his modular synths.
Get a little more bass out of it? Yeah.
And we just got this incredible, raw, terrifying noise.
Okay, one more time with feeling. How about this? It's a little bit more crunchy. Yeah.
And it just feels almost like a fist dropping its hand on the rest of the score.
So he laid it in, I think it was like 3 times. And I made this joke. I was like, we got to stop being so Canadian here. Like, we're being way too polite. And so I was like, let's just go for it. And I think in the movie there's 12 now in a row. Like, I was just like, again. It was just like a really enjoyable thing because it was pushing the score, it was pushing the storytelling.
Good.
Well done, everyone.
Every cue, we spent a lot of time finessing and figuring things out. It's very inspiring for me to work with somebody who is such a storyteller.
With Andrew, I've kind of found like a musical partner that's willing to go there and responds in a great way when you do push.
It feels like I have someone in the trenches with me creatively who is as much a wide-eyed 6-year-old kid watching a movie as I am.